This video is for tight boots or tight shoes, or if you have really wide feet like me, it's a struggle to find shoes and ski boots and motorcycle boots that are wide enough. So this is a kind of an imprint cutout of my foot. It was a 1x6 or something. It's about three quarters of an inch thick. I think it's pine. And I stepped on the board. I traced my foot, and the inside, this is where most of my pressure was. I had some issues with inflammation from dirt biking because my boots were a little too tight. Didn't have a whole lot of pressure on the back side, but I had a lot of pressure on the inside. And I found that my foot in the full traced outline was still a touch too wide. Your foot can handle a little bit of compression when it's in the boot. So I think I actually took off about a quarter inch on the one side. And also, if you have your whole foot traced out from front to back, it won't go in the boots because a foot bends as it goes into the boot, but the wood won't, so you can't actually get it in. So pretty much right about there, I cut it away and I made it smaller and tailored it all down so it would fit in the boot. On the top, I used a belt sander and created a bit of a foot, a foot bevel, and found that more accurately represented a foot in the boot. The bottom I never did it on, never had to, but without this kind of sanding the edges here, just the bottom of the board and the top of the board contact the inside of the boots, and that's not really a true foot imprint. Put some paracord on there, a little chunk of hose to pull it because it is hard to get in and out. And once you can get it in there, you can actually see the boot widen. And what I did on these is, once the imprint was in the boot, I poured boiling water on the plastic, and that was the big game changer. Up until then, it wasn't really working and doing a whole lot. And I didn't want the outside, this is leather here on these boots, I didn't want this outside to expand a whole lot, but I wanted the inside to give me a bit more room. And it's plastic and obviously will never really wear in and widen a whole lot like the leather would wear in and stretch. The plastic won't really stretch. So pour the boiling water on there. I also noticed that I had a fair bit of up and down movement. I could sacrifice a bit of the height in the toe. So I poured the boiling water on and actually put a board on top with a battery on it and kind of pushed the boot down and let it sit for 24 hours. It made a big difference, and that could, this system's working in a molded plastic boot. I can only imagine how easier it would be to do the same thing in a pair of leather boots or whatever you have. I made two, one for the right foot, one for the left foot. It's over in that boot. They're identical, and it takes a bit of squishing and wiggling to get the board in there all the way, which is good. And I also made a little mark that you can't see, and that's sort of where my toe was hitting, or the joint of my big toe was hitting. So I made a mark there, and that's exactly where the little toe joint imprint on the wood was touching, right in there, and it really widened the boot and made the boots really, really comfortable. And that can work on any boot. Before you throw your boots away and buy new ones, for an hour of your time jacking around, and for a free piece of wood that you got sitting in your wood pile, grab your jigsaw and make a little imprint to your foot, and you can keep these for the rest of your life. Use them on any boots you have or shoes that you want to stretch out. Works great.